All right, so boom, a little more adjustment. Sunday morning coffee. Oh goodness, we're at 209 or 210. I don't exactly recall. I did say something about coming in with goals for 2018. I'm gonna preface that conversation with any goal that is left unwritten and without a footpath leading to that goal in writing, which means clear, attainable goals with timelines, or clear, attainable steps with timelines to that goal, is just wishes and dreams. So I have written them down as goals, and then I got two versions of chicken scratches right now. And what I'm doing is I got my goals sorted out, and then I got it buttoned up into clumps, into groups that are kind of interdependent. And then from there, I'm going to review it and see which goals I really need to or actually intend to attain. Realism kicking in at this point. And then restructure that list. And then I can make an outline, kind of business plan deal out of that. We'll run over this last few weeks actually. The weather's been nasty for everybody. I hope everybody survived it okay. Things I didn't accomplish when we moved here. I kind of fell apart when we got moved here with personal and family life and such. I didn't get established my LP vendor accounts out here. It's a very different world in Marion County than it is in Polk County, just same state, a couple counties over. And apparently it's a little more of a process. However, it's a lot friendlier of a process to deal with. Well, I gomered that. I didn't get that established and set up before cold set in. That's a real problem. I ran out of my LP in the shop. I've been heating off of my kettle heater and a little propane. I had the opportunity, but steering away from using kerosene or diesel because of paint and body, because of diesel fumes in general. It's just a bad deal. Propane's a lot less bad on the human body. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm heating off my kettle heater, and I borrowed a little torpedo salamander style that runs off propane. So when it's really, really cold, I have the ability to heat up the main shop to livable but not workable, and I stuff the project in question, if it's paint and body work, in the paint booth and use that for a multi-purpose room, which is terrible. It should stay clean. I've lost a lot of work. Out of the last 4 weeks, I might have a week's worth of hours. It's just when cold hits due to nursing old injuries and my own amotivational syndrome I'm overcoming, I just am not accomplishing up to par. When it's nicer out, I'm a little more capable and a lot more happy to work. When it gets below 30, I hurt. When it gets below 0, I hurt real bad. Fact of life. Interesting thing about life and existence is the older you get, the more you hurt, it seems. And the ultimate irony is almost none of us are getting out of it alive, but so many people take it so very seriously. Lighten up. I mean, come on. It's not like you're going to survive it. So yeah, I've done a little bit of work with the Chevelle project and a little bit of work with the Fury project. I cleaned stuff up on the Chevelle project. I'm really ready to set it back on the chassis. Some odds and ends to button up. Then I can go back on the chassis and get the undercarriage coated appropriately. The Fury, I had to nip the rear wheel tubs inboard of the rear seat frame so it can actually have an interior installed in it. It wasn't built that way. And the guy that built it, the guy that owns it now, I'm doing the work. The guy that built it never intended it to be on the road. Again, it was just a track car for funs and giggles. Healy, it's had a 2-week stall since I last really messed with it, but I got all the major blocking done. Every panel needs some detail work done to it. And then we got a list, about 40 hours of additional miscellany for fitment and finesse. So there's that. Finding helpers to the shop, that's been a losing battle. I've taken 6 or 8 phone calls, about a dozen emails that I've messaged back. I've even taken 2 calling people from their emails that left their numbers. The rest of them, I leave my number, tell them to call, and set up a time to come visit. I hate using the term interview because it's me and one helper. That's pretty much what it's going to be. If by some far stretch of the imagination I could end up with 2 helpers part-time, but not likely. I'm just looking for that one fit that can run shoulder to shoulder with me and we can get stuff done, be it an apprentice or someone learned. I'm open to that option, but I need to find a person to assist. That's in my goals. With that, I've taken 2 actual physical interviews, visits, whatever you want to establish that as. Because I mean, an interview is as much me interviewing the prospect as they are interviewing me and seeing kind of the very low tech little operation I've got going on. I've had people come in the past and look at my operation and go, man, this is basic. I really don't want to fuck with this. And they walk on, and that's fine. It's all about fit, about finding fit. I definitely got to be more wary and aware and scuttle people when they're no longer useful. Business-wise, it's a business decision. It's not, I'm going to leverage you for all I can, rip you off and run to the hills. No, it's business, and I've got to keep an eye on the accounts as well as the work being done. So if the quality isn't there, if the speed isn't there, if I'm paying more money for the help than the money is providing to the shop, these things. I've got to keep an eye on the business side, mind my business. Something I've wavered in the past, and I've definitely got to be reborn on that one. So that's kind of the last few weeks really in review. I've gone over a lot of this already in past Sunday morning coffees. Now on to essentially the main event. I've got this broke up into 15 goals total right now. I've got bigs and smalls. The bigs are something that's going to take a longer term commitment. All these are technically short-term goals. Short-term goal in a fiscal sense is anything less than 12 calendar months. So they're all short-term goals that I should be able to position myself to attain within this year, within 2018. But the bigs are things that are going to be ongoing throughout the year. They're the big things that I've got to focus on this year. The smalls are all of the finite little this project, that project, things that'll take less than a week. A lot of them will take 1, maybe 2 days of actual effort to attain. So I wanted 10 smalls, 5 bigs, 15 total goals. So my bigs, and I've got them also clumped in an organization of interdependence goals that coincide under the same concept, like shop quality and efficiency is one header. Production related, business aspects that are parallel to the shop, not directly connected to the productivity here or any of that nature. Cash flow items that are dependent upon cash flow through normal operations or through the goals therein. So I kind of got it broke down. What's going on here is like my first 2 real big goals, and they're clumped under production related, backlog dependent. Finding the one good helper. I really do need to put in a position to put myself in a situation to find a good helper. So I was expecting to cut off interviews and delete my ad. I put it up on Craigslist a week and a half ago, and I've continued it on, trying to get people in here to interview and just see what's going on. The problem is, folks don't want to show up even for to visit with them, to show them the operation, to show and tell type of deal. Get them talking, figure out what they're up to, talk to them, let them know what I'm up to. I really try to be an open book. I'm not interested in shady shit. This is someone that'll be end up becoming almost an extension of family, really, because of the way my shop is organized, set up, and the geography of my shop right across the driveway from the house. And I've had 2 show up for these little visits. So the finding one good helper, and that will help me to position the shop over the backlog. Everything, the delinquent projects that I carried with me when I shut down the main operations of Smith Welding and Restoration. I'm still carrying the name. I'm still, I've decided when I had to shut down the big shop that I'm raising the bar of quality. Period. We did good work. We did good enough work, and a lot of it. And now I want excellent work. I'm going to attain excellent work, period. Wants or gonnas are things that leave room for doubt or leave room for slippage. I don't want slippage. I'm attaining excellent work. So that's under production related. Other bigs would be to reboot this channel. And I've said it before and again and again and again. And this is something that's going to take a modicum of rigid discipline and me just getting focused and doing it. I'm going to drag the laptop out here on Mondays, and I'm going to work till noon on video footage. I'm going to have some stuff to upload this week. My aim is I want to do some little videos with the phone, get out in the shop, show you guys what's going on, get little videos put up. But I want to have something more formal established this week. I'm going to have a video out before this time next week from the computer that's been edited. I'm not promising high production value. I'm just promising something that's been run through the ringer and edited out. Bigs. I'd like to launch Lost and Found to some respect, from minor to big, but actually establish it. Get it organized enough that I can see it and go, that's a business structure. Yes, this is what we can do, and get it out there and start promoting it a little. I want to launch Lost and Found. That's another big. The other big is some equipment upgrades. So far, when I were a carpenter in a past life, I would pick up baubles and bits and tools and things I thought were nifty. And when it came time to liquidate this vast inventory of carpenter equipment, construction equipment, I sold off a lot of things I had never used or only used once. My goal with this shop up to this point was, if I don't need it, I'm not buying it. If I get a job in that I have to have this for, I'll go and get it. I'm at a point now I could run the rest of my career until they carry me out of the shop feet first without ever really modifying, upgrading, or getting other equipment in. And it's kind of I've hit a plateau as far as what I can do, what I can provide, what I can offer. And I wanna bump past that. And that's things like, I'm looking at particulars of a CNC plasma table, a shear, a stomp shear that I can stomp up to 16 gauge, a proper box pan brake, finger brake that's 52 inches on the minimum, various pieces of equipment, a TIG, a full TIG setup. I've turned away a lot of aluminum work because I didn't get enough aluminum work in any given time span to pay for a TIG machine. I could boost my productions, boost my footprint in a direction I want to go with this equipment, and that's kind of where that's at. My smalls, my little goals, shop quality and efficiency, it's all a bunch of little goals. Finish up the shop organization. It's reasonable now, but I want it streamlined. If it doesn't have to do with day-to-day operations, I want it out of the building and in storage. Speaking of storage, I want to bring all my storage home from a rented storage unit and get the garage in the house sorted out so I can stash shop storage in the garage to the house, because it's dilapidated. It's not really useful for a garage, but I can use it for storage. Seal up this shop. I mean, I can see light coming in. I had snow blow underneath the wall on the north side, little stuff. It's excellent for when it was a hobbyist shop, not so much trying to produce a living. Upgrade the shop lighting. Those four aspects I want to get taken care of in the short. Other smalls that kind of they deal with the parallel to the shop, the business aspect. I want to actually get out and network a little bit locally, meet people, meet and greet, learn my area around here, and see where I fit into this geographical marketplace. And I want to get a personal project in here and started this spring when the snow melts. I want to be poised to pull a personal project in. I got a lot of headway to do on backlog before I can really responsibly do that, though. Cash flow items. Smalls dealing with that is I'd like to flip some modern cars, some basic, quick cash flow car flips. Simple stuff. Make sure they're mechanically sound, make sure they're structurally sound, pretty them up, and move them on. Proper shop inventory. Get my shop inventory back to where it needs to be. I'm tired of ordering shit after I've run out of everything. And that's been a cash flow item because of the status of where I'm at in starting over. I'd like to get a little quad set up out here for land use. The wife can use it in the garden. We're going to have a huge vegetable garden this year, but that has nothing to do with the business per se, but it would be used for that. But I can use it for pushing and pulling and moving stuff around, make my life easier, especially if I get stuck in large gaps of time without a helper. And then the last big one, it's a small to medium size kind of goal, and that is getting my truck bill paid off. And that would be a huge weight off my shoulders. That's a weekly, or lately I've been paying monthly, which they really grumble about on the trucks. But I want to get my truck bill paid off this year. It's big, not huge, and it's definitely a feasible goal if I get some of these cash flow items going. If I can get Lost and Found producing on a minor scale, if I can get the channel producing on a minor scale, if I can flip some modern cars, that would all make that easier to do. That's the basics of the goals. That's my goals for this year. And my next step now is to break this out into an outline format, almost like a business plan, which shows me the steps to attain that. I want to flip cars. That's a great thing to say, but how? Well, I have some outlets where I can pick up affordable cars to go through and get them ready for sale. That may be a flop. They may not be worth it. So get out there, figure out what I can get a hold of, where I can get a hold of it, insurance auctions, whatever I got to do to get there. And that's going to take a little research to figure out the exact course of action I want to go to attain that particular small goal. And then, of course, comes the issue of actually getting, completing and selling said car. First one, you get the first one rolled out underneath, and everything else moves more smoothly from there typically. So my next step is to I've got the map of all the points that I want to touch. Now I have to make the roadmap to connect the points and make it functional. And that list may evolve into something else or change as I'm making the small business plan outline. But that is my expectations for this year. By the end of February, I may sit down and change all that before the end of the first quarter, simply because some goals may be unattainable for where I'm at right now. Some goals may not be relevant anymore, and other goals may have come and gone, and it's time to look forward again. No need to stunt yourself and go, I've accomplished everything I wanted to this year, and it's June 1st. Why fall short if you're already reaching for the stars? Keep going. So that is, in a nutshell, my goals for 2018 for the shop. The household and our homestead exercises, or I've got other goals there. Homestead exercises, I actually want to play with some solar cell technology and learn about that. I would like to look into biodiesel technology and learn a little bit about that. Not mastery, just doing the research to find viability aspects of it. Is it viable to do? Is it reasonable? That's the homestead, the home side of things that I'm looking at, because our goal is to eventually be able to homestead, have a piece of land that is providing our financial needs, our food, a good chunk of our food needs, these things. That's a goal I've wanted to delve into that for a long time, but never had a good partner to delve into that with. My better half is definitely poised and prepared to delve into that and has kind of pushed me back into that focus. So that's it. Sunday morning coffee, 20 minutes long. Damn, I'm so sorry. You guys will catch up with this tonight or tomorrow morning. Thank you for coming out, stopping by, peeking at what I've got going on. We'll recap it. I got my goals for the year. Finding help has been rendered almost impossible. I will keep pushing. Projects on the cooker right now, I'm behind as usual, and it's not getting any better in the immediate future, but I keep plodding forward. As long as I can get a few things on the positive side of the column each week, I feel at least not as a failure. I can at least look at it and go, at least I'm plodding forward slowly. The cold hurts and hurts me a great deal. And I've got to focus. I've got goals for this year that I now need to make a roadmap out of how to get to each goal step by step. And they have to be measurable, achievable points with timelines, time spans committed to them. And I've grown a little complacent and lazy. So this is where I get to reestablish my presence in my own life. Take control over some things in my own life instead of just coasting. So that's it. That's the recap. That's what I'm up to. I hope you all have a pleasant week ahead. It looks like the weather's going to be reasonable for us ahead, where I can actually get something done around here. I got a crummy little tag-along tow truck I'm going to scrub down and squirt in some single-stage paint, Earl Scheib level. I told the owner not to expect too much. One of my regulars, and he's always bringing me crap he wants on the low. I don't have a lot of customers like that. I've chased most of them off. This guy at least is a realist. We discuss expectations and budgets, and I give him exactly what he pays for. And it's not always terrific, but at least it gets the job done. I hate those kind of jobs. I don't bring in outside work unless it's somebody that's established in my clientele base. And I especially don't do lowbrow work with these special exceptions. It's got to be understood what they're getting is shit. You paint over junk, you get junk. He wants to get a year out of it so he can make his money back on the rig, and then I'm sure it'll come back to get cut up and put back together correctly, because it's not okay, and he's a lot more work than I'm giving it. He knows it. I know it. We do what we can from day to day. Talk to y'all later.